Hello, everybody. I am Madeline Gordon. I am the owner of Koap Virtual, which is a virtual company that solely supports mental health professionals. Currently, we offer phone support and intake and also admin services. I am starting this series, basically conversations with mental health professionals and friends to sit down with people who have a level of expertise and some knowledge and some wisdom to pass along to you guys so that you could fill the gaps. Because we all know that school doesn't prepare you for all the things of business. So that's why we are here. Today, I have someone near and dear to me. I have Samara Stone. She is incredibly awesome, infectious smile, and over 20 plus years of knowledge. She's a business coach, she's a brand strategist, and of course, she is also a licensed therapist as well. So I am so excited to have her. And without further ado, welcome Samara.
Hello, Madeline. I'm so happy to be here with you today. So
I am
happy.
so happy to have you. And I'm excited for everybody to get to know you if they don't already know you, because you've been in this space for so long. It's probably nothing new, but the people who have seen you before, I'm sure you're gonna bring a little something that they're not used to. And for those who are getting to meet you for the first time, this is going to bless their souls. Okay.
Oh, yes, that's nice.
So I said a little bit about you, but can you dive a little bit deeper and tell the people who you are?
Absolutely, absolutely. So January made 20 years that I have been an entrepreneur in the mental health space, right? So I opened a group practice back in 2005, and we are still kicking it live in Baltimore, Maryland. For the past 13 years, I've been helping other mental health professionals create businesses for themselves.
Okay.
And my focus kind of became being a brand strategist and a business coach because I saw that that was the piece that was most challenging for therapists to own. Like, this is what my niche is, this is what I'm an expert in,
Yeah.
and then building the rest of their businesses around that so they can really make some money and do work they love.
Okay.
Um, And I think more and more recently, I've been focusing on that holistic piece in an entrepreneur's life because, yes, you can be making all of the money, but if you are not
Mm-hmm.
taking good care of yourself and your
Yep.
relationships, you really don't get to have the juicy life folks are after.
Exactly.
And so, yeah,
Exactly.
I'm here to get folks having a juicy life.
Exactly. And you know what? I'm glad that you talked about that juicy life because what have seen kind of trending lately is mental health professionals like saying, I don't want to see clients anymore. I'm burnt out. This is not what I thought it was going to be. How can I shift things, or I'm quitting. And the thing is, you're still very much so needed. And
Absolutely.
especially with the climate and everything going on, like the need for mental health professionals is going to skyrocket. I think the trend went up with COVID and it's only been ticking upward.
That's right.
Um, so with that being said,
Hmm.
folks that are getting burnt out from that day to day to day to day, if they take off to refresh, they're not getting no money.
That's
Because if
right.
you don't see them, you don't get no money.
That's
So
right.
what are the ways that you have seen people to be able to still stay true to what they want to do, but to
Mhm.
make more money?
Absolutely. I really believe that burnout comes from a few things, right?
Mhm.
It does come from doing work that's out of alignment, whether you work
Mhm.
in some place where you don't feel good about what you're doing too much of something that you don't like all of those things we know have the flavor of burnout.
Yeah.
But even doing something that you enjoy without enough reward and having to do it
Mm.
too much time, for too much, at a
Yes.
time, that too is burnout. It's just
Hmm.
like, you can love ice cream, but do you want to eat ice cream all day, every day? No, ma'am, right? Your body
Right.
won't like that neither. So one of the things that we talk about is finding ways to create a money matrix where you can
Hmm.
diversify the way money is coming into your life so that you're not just having to eat ice cream every day. You
Yeah.
want to have a full kind of plate of services available for people. And that does come from having a strong niche and being an expert. So
Hmm.
we talk a lot about leveraging all those skills that you've gained into creating unique businesses instead of exiting the field and taking all those skills with you.
Yeah, yeah. You
Absolutely,
can't take them
absolutely.
out. You just got to learn how to shift it a little
Repackage
bit.
it. And
Yeah.
the folks want us. Listen,
Mm-hmm.
the need and the desire for mental health experts is
Mm-hmm.
greater than ever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if
Mm-hmm.
you just want to open a, private practice and see a few clients, you'll get that full in no time.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
if you want to become an expert and start doing work in corporate and community
Mm-hmm.
settings where you're making money outside of that hour to
Yeah.
hour model, it's going to require that you do some preparation work, right? Some preparation to position yourself in a particular way, to create offers that are in alignment with kind of what your strengths are and your expertise is. And you got to be brave and put yourself out there. You
Mm-hmm.
when you hang your shingle as a private practice owner, you can get your little Psychology Today page and fill your practice and be like, well,
Right.
I'm good.
Right. Right.
No, we have to play a whole different game when
Yeah.
you're ready to be an expert in the mental health
Yeah.
space.
Because I'm that person. I think about anything that I consume that I'm going to spend my money on. I'm
Mhm.
going to stalk that person. I
Yes.
want to know, are they somebody I would want to sit down with? Can I trust them? And
Yes.
if I go to sites or, I try to find their footprint, their, social footprint, and there's nothing. One, I either feel like you don't have the knowledge you say you have,
Mhm.
or two, you're just getting started, or I just don't have anything to trust
That's
because
exactly right.
there's no examples for me
Mhm.
to follow. So it's
Absolutely.
definitely got to be, who are you and why I want to give you my money.
And I'm gonna tell you something else. Folks look for you to be who you are
Mhm.
online in the discovery call with you and in the delivery of services. So that's
Exactly.
why I tell people don't create some fake persona and then
Hmm.
use that as a brand
Hmm.
representative to try to sell your business. It's just like trying to date somebody and all you see
Yeah.
is you get catfished by the
Yeah.
online profile. No, you have to be who you are through
Right.
and through so that when folks are interacting with you, they know what to expect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because you can't keep up the catfish.
You really can.
Like that's exhausting in itself. You gonna get them in, and then you got to keep playing that role, and or either they're going to be vastly disappointed, and you back to square one. So
And guess what that is? Another form of burnout. Trying
another.
to keep fixing that mask on your face
Mm-hmm.
because you feel
Mm-hmm.
like that's what a professional is.
Mm-hmm.
One of
Mm-hmm.
the things that we teach at Brandon, and you know this because you've been around me a
Mm-hmm.
long time, is to bring some of your Saturday self into Monday morning. Be
Mm-hmm.
who you really, really are.
Yeah.
And let
Yeah.
that be the space from which your expertise shines.
Mm-hmm.
We, especially as people of color, we have to know that even if we're being our whole unapologetic brown self, there is room for us in all the rooms and at all the tables,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hmm.
Definitely. Because I remember when I first connected with you, when I was a virtual assistant, right? That's been 7 years ago.
Yes.
I was leaning into who I was, which was a complete cool nerd, right? And so it was the super sidekick services. And I
Yeah.
remember you had your events and they did our makeup and everything.
Purple.
And I went full, like, I'm not deviating. I am going to be full nerd.
Yeah.
I had her do the makeup like a mask. And I felt very confident and at home. And it was just because that's who I was. I've evolved a little bit since then in 7 years, but at the time, I was leaning into who I was, and maybe the next person that would have been weird, like, no, I'm not gonna show up that way. But for me, it was perfect, and people really, when they met me, they was like, oh, this is who you are.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah.
It works. And it works along all pieces of the spectrum because
Hmm.
just because I'm a mental health expert and I'm going to teach somebody about imposter syndrome or
Hmm.
leadership or managing the invisible load or whatever it is that this expert status is being built upon teaching, I still want to know that you're a human being because that know, like, trust
Hmm.
cycle, that's for humans. That's
Hmm.
for humans. And
Yeah.
so if you want to get to know somebody and their brand, that's how you make the decision on whether or not you're going to work with them. Hmm.
So let me ask you this, as
Hmm.
a person who might be watching this, who does all they've thought about is seeing clients day to day.
Yeah.
what are some of the things? I know you don't want to give all your sauce away, but maybe people haven't thought outside the box yet. Can you
Mhm.
give them a few things that they can do outside of sitting on the couch
Mhm.
one-on-one seeing clients?
So, one of the things I always say that you start with is a deep clarity about your unique niche. Like when you know who the folks are that you're here to serve and how you're going to serve them, you
Mm-hmm.
can create some unique offers that meet those clients' needs. You can even have offers that, let's say it meets the client's needs, but the client might not be the one paying for it. You
Mm-hmm.
find a corporation or a community or a nonprofit who's in alignment with the services you can provide, and they may be the ones paying for you to provide this unique service to the
Sure,
population that y'all share an interest in, right?
sure.
And so once you've got clarity around your offer, it is possible for you to put yourself out there in a variety of ways. So
Mm-hmm.
let's talk about some offers I've seen work.
Mm-hmm.
People write books.
Okay.
People have speaking careers. People are coaches. Oh, I could talk a long time about that.
Mm-hmm.
They create online courses. They become like speakers in corporate settings. People can design like events, retreats, and experiences that are like intensives for their client base. Like I have several clients who maybe work with couples and will create intensives for them where they can
Mm-hmm.
go instead of spending 6 months weekly for an hour-long
Yeah,
therapy session, they come and spend a weekend and
and
really
that's
kind of dive deep
mm-hmm.
over 2 days into clarifying what needs to happen.
Yeah.
I have folks that help families navigate divorce. Like, oh, the niches go on, and the
Okay.
services that are a part of the niches actually marry together nicely.
Okay. All
Mhm.
right. Love it. So, in saying that, if I do want to get off the couch,
Mm-hmm.
what is the first thing that I like something tangible
Yes.
today after watching this
Today.
video?
Oh, we're gonna do it
What
today.
is the
Okay.
first step to
Mhm.
be able to move in that direction of branding or coming up with services or whatever the case may be?
Yep. The first thing I want you to do is pull out a piece of paper, your notebook, or your technology device, whatever you do to
Mhm.
write something. And I want you to write a letter to your ideal client. Now, this letter is going to be one that lets them know you understand what they're going through right now. You understand where they are and what they're dealing with right now. Describe it in detail, emotional connection.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to let them know that there is a new future possible for them. So you're going
Mm-hmm.
to give them a glimpse of what is possible. And then you're going to get into the meat of like what the journey is to get from where they
Mm-hmm.
are now to where you can take them.
Okay.
And in that journey, in that meet, you're going to tell them honestly, highs, lows, good, bad, and
Mhm.
ugly, what to expect in a transformational journey. I think if you start there, that's going to give you some wonderful copy that you can
Mhm.
use in messaging. It'll have you to start thinking about, well, which way would I help them to create that kind of a transformation? And when you finish the letter, ask yourself, can I see myself on stages talking to people about this?
Mhm.
Or would I want to, coach a small group of people
Yeah,
through this? Or would this be something I do in a corporate setting? Like ask yourself, how would I want to help folks move through
yeah.
this?
Because you
Mhm.
still want it to be in alignment with who you are. Like
It
if you
has to
know
be.
you don't want to be up on a big stage, there are still other ways to package your expertise that
Yes.
are in alignment with your personality. Like I know that like a lot of people are always surprised by this, but I am an introvert.
Yes.
I like one-on-ones. I do
Mhm.
so well with one-on-ones, but you
Yeah.
put me in a group and it takes me a while because I'm first of all, I'm a people watcher.
Yes.
I wanna
See
peep the
who is
people
everybody?
out, right? And so for me, I've never thought about, speaking on stages, that's just not that's
That's
not
not
my
how you build.
expertise.
That's right.
No. So I would have to find my way to package my expertise
Hmm.
that meets my personality. And there are many ways. It doesn't matter if you are an introvert or extrovert, or, you got your own trauma or your own issues or
That's
whatever
right.
the case may be, you can find how
A way to
to
show up.
way to
Absolutely.
show up, way to
And
show
I'll
up.
tell you, not only can you craft your offer to speak to your strengths and your
Hmm.
personality and your niche, even your visibility strategy and the approach you take to marketing can fit with who you are,
Yeah.
right? So if you're not an extrovert, you may not want to go live on Instagram
Hmm.
every
Hmm.
Wednesday night, right?
You don't
Or
want to do
create
the
a YouTube,
TikToks.
right, or a YouTube channel that's all your face. You may
Right.
not want to do that. But it may make sense for you to write a thoughtful blog that has good
Hmm.
SEO, where when people are
Hmm.
searching your WordPress website, they find your
Hmm.
content. Or it might
Hmm.
make sense for you to have a podcast that's like whispering into the ear of your ideal clients and talking to them while they're cleaning their kitchen so they start to
Yeah.
trust you. It's
Yeah.
all kinds of ways for you to have visibility that fits who you are, introvert or not.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So
Mhm.
let's go back. So let's just say, because sometimes people are um, stubborn when it comes to making money. I mean, we say we want to make money, but we're stubborn in a lot of ways, right?
Mhm.
So what if I am a person who just wants to still just see one-on-one clients, and I'm
Mhm.
I'm just really trying to get my handle on making sure my private practice is growing.
Yes.
Um, do you think even in a private practice where I want to just do the one-on-one settings, do you think that a brand is still important?
Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you three
Okay.
reasons why. You ready? We're going to
Mm-hmm.
go to the word that you said at the beginning, burnout.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Mm-hmm.
don't have a niche and a brand and you just see everybody and their mama, when they're coming in as clients, you're bouncing all over the place,
Mm-hmm.
having to work
Mm-hmm.
with clients who are not your ideal client.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, if you can't get the best results in working with them, what does that do to your confidence as a business owner and
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur? Better yet,
Exactly.
what does it look like when people are talking about the services that you provided when you're functioning
Mm-hmm.
outside of your idea? I'm not going to say nothing about that part. So
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
one way the branding helps. The second, let's say you choose you don't want to keep working with insurance companies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, without a brand and a niche,
It's
that
gonna be hard
ability
to
to show
sell.
up as an expert for cash
Yes.
pay clients is
Yes.
going to be sorely
It's gonna
limited,
be hard.
right? It's
Mm-hmm.
going to be a lot
Mm-hmm.
harder because when you face the blank canvas of writing copy for your website or creating a marketing campaign, and you don't have a clear person and
Mm-hmm.
issue and dynamic that you're speaking to, you end up saying things like, I could help you live your best life.
All right.
Gonna help who live what best life? Like, what's wrong with my life right
Right.
now? How you don't know my life is I'm playing.
Right. Right.
But but you get it, right? And so
Yeah.
being able to create copy that lands and resonates means you're talking to somebody, not everybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love that point. I never thought about that, but that is perfect. The point that and I have been seeing that trend of a lot of my clients stopping to take insurances
Mm-hmm.
and going to self-pay.
Mm-hmm.
And if you, like you said, if I got insurance that I pay every month and you want me to pay you out of pocket, I
I
gotta
do.
like I gotta have to be like, I need to work with this person.
Yes.
But how can that need be there if you don't have a niche or you haven't shown up?
Exactly. And I'll tell you, the need is there when you're hitting to a specific issue. So
Mm-hmm.
if I'm somebody who is facing a divorce and I know
Yeah.
that I'm about to move through that divorce cycle, and you tell me that you can support me through divorce and help me kind of
Mm-hmm.
create a safe space for my children to be all right, you're gonna get my money because I
Yeah.
need that, right?
Yeah.
If I've just been diagnosed with breast cancer and you let me know that you have a way of supporting people through
Mm-hmm.
cancer and moving through the treatments, where do you sign me up?
Exactly. Take
The
my
other
money.
thing that starts to happen when you get real ninja with niching and branding,
Mm-hmm.
even other professional businesses and organizations can see value in what you offer, and
Yeah.
they may be the ones to pay people to come and work with you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, for example, let's say you work with people that are in the weight loss space, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
they're either taking Ozempic or they're going for bariatric and they need evaluations and such.
Right.
The doctor's office will pay you to do the bariatric assessment. I
Yeah.
have clients who do that,
Yeah.
right?
I do too. We have a client like
Absolutely.
that. Yeah.
Absolutely. So again, having a niche, even in a private practice, still
Mm-hmm.
opens you up to do a variety of things and still be in that one-to-one model.
Yeah. Definitely. Like I can think of a client now that they only work with veterans. And
Hmm.
so they have been able to get huge contracts. And I've seen them because they've almost been a client with us almost this entire going on 5 years. And I've seen them go from like 13 clinicians to like 70 clinicians. And and like they're constantly growing because they're able to get these contracts because that's all they see. They
That's
don't
it.
like we don't even want to see your family. We're just going to see those veterans.
It's so interesting because there's a mindset that people
Mm-hmm.
have when it comes to niching, but I don't want to leave anybody out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, first of all, you can't see everybody. At a
Mm-mm.
maximum, you can see 25, 30 clients in a week, and you're going to be on the verge of burnout if you do.
Right?
But wouldn't it be better that those 25 or 30 clients are your ideal folks?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what else. When you are niching down, now you become like perfect for certain people
Mm-hmm.
instead of just okay for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, because when I opened Koap Virtual, basically we started as just a call center. Now we've kind of evolved to add more services. But my mentor was like, you just want to hit the ground running, just get clients, whoever wants you to answer their phones, whoever wants your company to answer the phones, just take them. And so I had peers who had gone through like the same course and same training. They were like, they had attorneys and lawn mowing services and dental offices and cleaning services, all those different clients. How do you train? I mean, I'm sure they're doing it, but how do you train your people to have to deal with this call might be for this industry, the next call is for that industry? We solely, I went against the advice of my mentor, and
Sure.
I said, mental health people are my peeps.
Yep.
That's all we're gonna work with.
Yep.
That's it. And then
That's
he was
it.
like, you're going to limit your reach.
Mm,
And I would have to say,
mm.
with getting to almost year 5 and almost being straight word of mouth, that he was
You
wrong.
like this limited reach. And this is why, and I'm gonna say this too, and I'm a business coach, and I still
Mm-hmm.
believe this.
Mm-hmm.
Every person, you are the expert in your
Mm-hmm.
business. People can give you advice, they can tell you best practices, they can support you, consult you, all of the
Yeah.
things. But at the end of the day, your confidence grows by learning to trust your own instincts and
Mm-hmm.
intuition in the development of your business.
Yeah.
And I believe the same to be true. I mean, there were several pivotal points in my 20-year journey where I
Mm-hmm.
didn't do what everybody said do.
Yeah.
Right. And even now, I still, with new programs that I'm about to launch now, I'm still
Mm-hmm.
leaning to my own sense of this is
Mm-hmm.
right for me. This is right for my
Yeah.
brand. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So right now it's as we record this, it is February 2025. And America is going through a lot, baby. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I even have fallen like all of no, I'm gonna say since the election
Mm-hmm.
through maybe even January,
Mm-hmm.
I was frozen. I was scared, depressed, all
Mm-hmm.
the things. And I feel like a lot of this administration does want us to just be frozen.
Mm-hmm.
And so that means this is a time where we cannot.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an opportunity. A lot of times when bad things happen, if you lean in, like you were saying, oh well, they don't know. We were talking about that. Um, then you can not just survive this,
But
we
thrive.
can thrive in this.
Mm.
Can you talk more of what your thoughts are for people in the mental health space during this time?
Oh my goodness. One of the things that I truly believe, and I'm a kind
Mm-hmm.
of a sci-fi girl, like you talked about being,
Mm-hmm.
kind of Marvel and
Mm-hmm.
quirky. I'm a sci-fi girl. And so there was a movie that the Smiths, Jaden and Will, were in years ago called
Oh
Planet Earth.
yeah, I
Mhm.
remember
After
that. I
Earth or
can't
something like
remember the
that.
name. Some yeah, I think that's it. Mm-hmm.
After Earth, right? Well, there's a scene in there where he says, danger is real.
Mm-hmm.
Fear is not real.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ground yourself in the present moment, he tells him.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I believe it's important for folks to kind of dial back a minute
Mm-hmm.
and settle into, all right, here's what's happening, but here's who I am in what's happening,
Mm-hmm.
right? If we allow ourselves to be caught up in the energy of fear and allow
Mm-hmm.
ourselves to be overwhelmed by that, we can't even make wise choices on how to navigate things that are best for us. The
Exactly.
other piece is Focus on what is happening right around you. You can't change the world. You can't
Mm-hmm.
change what other folks are choosing to do or even choosing to support. You can't change
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
But you can change how you're responding to the things that are impacting your day-to-day life.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
can change the policies that you put in place and who you interact with and how you do what you do. You can change, you can only impact the changes that are directly in your world.
Yeah.
Now, those of us who are into advocacy, absolutely. I mean, there's no shortage of things that you can focus
Right.
on as an advocate. Because I'm a social worker, I understand there's micro and there's macro. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're in the
Mm-hmm.
macro world and you're in the advocacy, you got plenty of stuff, right?
Right.
But I think it is important that you develop the kind of habits that keep your nervous system calm in the midst of chaos. You
Mm-hmm.
want another show? Game
Mm-hmm.
of Thrones, right? Yeah, right. Now you remember Littlefinger. He
Yes.
said, chaos is a ladder. So
Mm-hmm.
even in the midst of these times where things feel chaotic and all over the place, you can still find a strategy that will help you and your business thrive and grow.
Mm-hmm.
So it is
Mm-hmm.
about being observant.
Mm-hmm.
What are the patterns that you're noticing that you have expertise to address? Being what's the word? Strategic in
Mm-hmm.
choosing the things that you're going to put your efforts towards, being confident so that you're
Mm-hmm.
consistently putting yourself out there in ways that can produce
Yeah.
results. You know, now's not the time to go hide in the corner and be scared.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Right.
that's
And
that's
this
that's
is
what
the
I believe.
time for what? Branding and
It
knowing
really
your
is.
business.
If you, and I have a lot of clients that I'm working with now, or let's say over the last 6 months, where I've
Mm-hmm.
kind of seen this arc of feeling frustrated and overwhelmed by what's happening around you.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But everyone is experiencing these pressures, and the mental health professionals around us are the ones that can help folks navigate it.
Exactly.
So you're actually of most of the industries out here, one of the ones best equipped to maximize the opportunities
It,
available in this painful
hello.
time, right?
Hello.
Because people are
Yeah.
hurting, and guess what they need when they hurt?
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
expertise of mental health professionals trained in particular things. So when we talk about, community trauma,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or how to support people in navigating various dynamics. I'll tell you something that has not come up as a diagnosis or anything like that now, but I believe the hyperpolarization that's happening in politics right now and the impact that it's had on families,
Mm-hmm.
it is a thing that
It
is
is the
needed,
thing.
that there needs to be addressed. Someone needs
Yeah.
to address. So, for example, when you have a client who's, on the other side of the fence from where their parents are,
Yeah.
and the dissonance that that creates in the relationship with the family, if there's somebody out here who has some strategies on helping people heal that,
Look, it sounds like you just gave somebody a little take
right?
them run with it.
Because
Mm-hmm.
that's a part of it. And if you can
Yeah.
position yourself to really support families in navigating that, or even to support communities and how to advise, it can
Yeah.
it can be helpful.
Okay.
College campuses could benefit from that too, because a lot of the political discourse is happening. So if you become expert in, how to help people navigate
Mm.
polarizing political conversations, and you take that show on the road, corporate, community, and colleges will want you.
See, look, this is like you giving like a little bit of the inside of your coaching, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So take notes, y'all. But if they wanted to deep dive, if they've like, oh man, I didn't ever think about that. But this is the perfect time for me to not be frozen in fear, but to lean in into my strengths. But how do I show up in those strengths? You need a person like Samara.
Yeah.
So Samara, what are your offerings or how could someone connect with you into,
Sure. So
you
there's
know,
there's it's interesting you say that. Like, I've been doing private coaching for a long time, and I
hmm
like private coaching because of
hmm
that personal touch.
yeah.
I feel like people, they need auntie
Mm-hmm.
energy in their work through the entrepreneurial journey, right? It's not just somebody giving you a strategy. We're gonna give you a strategy and a hug, right? So that you
Yeah.
can you can implement it with confidence, right? Right? To get clarity and confidence. So
Yeah.
my 90-day sprint has been like the central offer that I've just been in love with for years.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things we're doing this year that's going to be a little different, so you stay tuned because it's
Mm-hmm.
on the way, Madeline. We're
Okay.
still going to be offering that private coaching component, but I'm creating a hybrid community that supports people through implementation.
Mm-hmm.
And that community is going to allow us to bring in guest speakers on
Mm-hmm.
specific topics or to have kind of some accountability partners
Yeah.
or live events where people can connect with one another who are doing the same work.
Yeah.
I think that's been the component that folks need after the 90-day sprint is complete and it's time for them to implement. They still need support. And so we're designing something right now that's going to allow them to do all of those things.
Okay. I love
Mhm,
it. Okay.
mhm,
And I
mhm.
know that me and you had talked the other day about your celebration for your 20 year. Can you
Oh,
talk about that as well?
yeah. So this year in January was 20 years in business. And so
Mm-hmm.
folks said, "Oh, Samara, you should host a party or go on
Mm-hmm.
vacation." Now, anybody knows me, no, I don't need to go on vacation because
Right. You get it in.
I go all the places all the time. So I have a very fun and juicy life.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, and hosting a party. So what I decided to do was to host something called the Visionary Social Worker Awards.
Mm-hmm.
And so all throughout the month of January, we were nominating social workers across the country who were showing up in some really unique ways. We had the business boss,
Mm-hmm.
standout brand, putting the social in social work, advocacy and action. We had 5 categories. And one of the things that was so nice was seeing we got over 125 nominations for social workers
Yeah.
across the country and hearing what people had to say about how these social workers have helped them. And
Mm-hmm.
so for the last 2 weeks, we've been in the voting phase.
Okay.
And we've gotten over 3,500 votes from people all across the
Wow.
country supporting
Mm-hmm.
social workers. Well, once we have our winners in the 5 categories, they're going to join us at Morgan State University at the end of Social Work Month for a celebration to really highlight their accomplishments. This year, I'm teaching, I developed an entrepreneurship course for Morgan State
Mm-hmm.
University. And
Oh,
so I
okay.
also, yeah, they invited me to come and talk about
Awesome.
entrepreneurship at Morgan. And
See
of
what
course, I said
branding
yes.
does, though? See what branding, it opens the door for
It does.
opportunities like that.
It absolutely does. And I'll tell you, reputation too.
Mm-hmm.
I have consistently been someone that's operated in integrity and
Yeah.
compassion. I've always been generous
Yeah.
and welcoming, engaging. And so when they were talking about wanting to have someone to teach the course, they were like, "Who other than Samara?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
find her."
Mm-hmm.
And oh, that
Yeah.
made me feel so good. But
Mm-hmm.
they've also allowed us to host on campus the award ceremony for the Visionary Social
Awesome.
Work Awards, right? And
How
so,
cool is that?
yeah, so we have an Urban Social Work Day coming up where we're going to celebrate social work. And I just believe that a rising tide lifts all boats.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
anytime you big up yourself or you big up a
Yeah.
colleague, the field as a whole grows. And when we grow, the ripple effect of what mental health
Mm-hmm.
can do in the community is felt. And so
Yeah.
I believe that when we're up to good stuff and we're growing and our businesses are thriving, we don't sell alcohol. We don't, we're not in the
Yeah.
gambling industry.
Yeah.
We're here helping people heal and grow.
Right.
And nothing against casinos, whatever.
Right.
They actually can use your services too. But it's important that we know when we're doing our best work, everybody benefits.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so where can people find you?
Sure. So you always can find me at samarastone.com. Just that's my navigation site for all of the things that I do. And then you can look at perfectedpractice.com if you are a therapist interested in business coaching and brand strategy.
Okay, got it. Love
Yes,
it.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
so we got to wrap it up. I've enjoyed you, Samara. I always enjoy you.
Too.
Thank you. I'm gonna have you back again because I want to hear about all the other things that are you're gonna have going on because I think that, of course, mental health professionals will benefit for all the things that you're bringing on.
Mhm.
Um, I will also link how to get in touch with Samara so that you can reach out to her or
Mhm.
follow her.
Mhm.
I also have a private practice um, checklist, audit checklist is free, download it,
Yeah.
and then you'll be able to see where someone like Samara definitely will benefit you. And so Tune in so that you can see the rest of our amazing mental health professionals and friends. Until next time, bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Madeline.